In this video, we are going to talk about distillation. And distillation is a process to obtain the pure solvent from a solution. For example, if we want to take pure water from a seawater sample, we can employ distillation. And usually in the school laboratory, we will perform distillation by using the quick feed apparatus. It is because the quick feed apparatus can be assembled very quickly and easily. And besides that, it is quite airtight, so the vapor of the solvent would not escape from the setup. And then let's take a look on the principle of distillation. Simply speaking, distillation is based on the difference in the boiling point of different components. For example, if we carry out a distillation of a seawater sample, the water in the seawater sample would boil to form steam, and then the steam would condense inside the condenser to form back liquid. However, the solute in the seawater would remain inside the round bottom flask. It is because the boiling point of the solute is much higher when compared with that of the solvent. For example, the boiling point of sodium chloride is higher than 1000 degrees Celsius, while the boiling point of water is just 100 degrees Celsius. Therefore, in distillation, only water would boil, but not the solute. This is the reason why we can separate pure water from a seawater sample. Then we will take a look on some important points in distillation. Then I will talk about some important points in distillation. In distillation, we will add anti-pumping granules into the solution. The function of anti-pumping granules is to prevent bumping due to the overheating. If pumping happens, the seawater may splash out into a receiver test tube. Let's take a look on the diagram of a simple setup of a distillation. If pumping occurs, the seawater sample would jump into the receiver test tube. Therefore, we cannot obtain pure water in the test tube anymore. The pure water would be contaminated by the seawater sample. Then the second important point that we should pay attention is that the water in position and water out position of the condenser. In the condenser, the cold running water should pass into the condenser from the lower opening, and leave the condenser in the upper part, in the upper opening. This is because this can provide better cooling effect for the steam. By filling the condenser from the lower opening, the condenser can be fully filled by water completely. However, if we fill up the water from the upper opening, the running water would leave the condenser very quickly without filling up the whole condenser. 呢度比較難明少少，我用中文解釋啦。其實呢，喺下面入水嘅好處呢，就係佢一定可以填滿晒成支 condenser。咁你水分越多喺入邊呢，佢 cooling effect 就越大啦，因為水分係一個冷凍劑嚟㗎嘛。咁而如果我哋喺上面入水，咁會有咩問題呢？咁上面入水，因為你水流向下流，咁走得好快啦。佢只係下面即係呢一度底嘅部分呢，係接觸到水嘅。佢上面呢啲部分呢，其實接觸唔到水嘅。所以你成支 condenser 就有好多位係冇 fill up with water， 咁你就有個差啲嘅 cooling effect 咯。Then the third point that we should pay attention is the position of the thermometer. The probe of the thermometer should be placed next to the condenser, because what we are trying to measure is the temperature of the steam that can pass into the condenser. If the reading of the thermometer is 100 degrees Celsius, we can know that we are collecting water. So if we place the thermometer in a lower position, it may affect by the heat source. okay, and have a high reading. Therefore, we are not measuring the temperature of the steam that passed into the condenser. Therefore, we have no way to tell whether we are collecting water or other substances. For example, if we carry out distillation of a mixture of different liquid, for example, beer, 啤酒. Okay, beer contains ethanol and water, and ethanol, 酒精, boil at around 70 degrees Celsius. So if the reading of the thermometer is 70 degrees Celsius, then we are collecting alcohol. And when the reading becomes 100, then we are collecting water. So from the reading of the thermometer, we know that what substances are collected in the conical flask, okay? Then if we place the thermometer too close to the heat source, it will be affected by the heat source and have a high reading. Therefore, we have no way to tell which substance are collecting in the conical flask. The next point you should pay attention is that what we collect in the conical flask is called distillate, while the mixture of salts left behind is the residue. Then we move on to the simple setup of the distillation. The principle behind the simple setup is exactly the same with the one with quick feed apparatus. The difference between two setups is that the simple one does not have the condenser. It just has a delivery tube connecting the boiling tube and the test tube that used to collect pure water. Because of the absence of condenser, the amount of seawater sample that it can process is much less than that of quick feed apparatus. Because if the amount of steam is too much, the steam may not condense so efficiently and may escape from the setup. Then the other point is exactly the same with the one that have quick feed apparatus. For example, in the simple setup, we will also add anti-pumping granules, and the pump of the thermometer should be placed next to the delivery tube, just like in quick feed apparatus. The pump of thermometer should be placed next to the mouth of the condenser. So that's the end of this video. If you have any question, you can ask me in the Google Classroom. Bye bye.